And a bit about me. So as you said, my name's Peter. We run Atomic AMZ, and we're a co-partner with AMZScout. Husband and dad to 3 kids. So you can look at the one on the left. You can probably tell it's a bit of an older picture. But the reason I put these other pictures in here is Amazon's really allowed us to have an amazing lifestyle. Whether you're a new seller, established seller, it's one business that can really make a difference. Just this year, 2024, so we're just in 2025 now, we did Hawaii twice, did a trip to Canada, a trip to Bali, also went to Tokyo, and we actually went to Waikiki twice and went to LA. So we did surf lessons with a family in Waikiki, which is fantastic. And then this is, I think this is Tokyo Disney, maybe. Disney, I'm not sure if we went to Tokyo Disney and LA Disney. So that's why I talked about holidays. One thing about Amazon is it really does allow you that lifestyle balance. Once you get the track record and success, it's something that you really want to appreciate with the family. And I'll put that in here. It's a really important part of running an Amazon business is you do work hard, you put in the efforts, but some of this stuff is fantastic. And that's why I put it in here, just to show some of the experiences we've had just in the last 12 months. We did 3 different trips all around the world with the kids. And that's what you can do with Amazon. So a bit about myself. My name's Peter Nobbs. I started from zero on Amazon. To give you the background story, in 2013, I moved to New York with my girlfriend at the time, who quickly became fiance and then pregnant within a very short period of time. And I had a business that my friends just call a business in a box. It was literally, I had one product that would take stickers off cars. And I had a job in New York City, and I really want to get in e-commerce. And I used to get maybe 1 sale or 2 sale a day through PayPal. And I would message my wife and say, look, Shireen, can you go to the local post office and drop this product at the post office? That was fine until winter came. Shireen was pregnant, it was cold, and she no longer wanted to go to the post office in the cold. And she said, you have to find a new solution. That's where I found Amazon FBA. Found it within a week, shipped in the products, and soon that business that started under the bed turned into a multi-7-figure brand. And what I did is I made a commitment to learn about Amazon. Back then in 2013, there wasn't all these resources that you have now. There weren't great tools like AMZScout has. It was literally scraping together whatever information you could find. And I spent the last 15 years trial and error to discover the secrets that I'm going to give you today. I'm going to lay out the 5 foundation steps today about what you can do. And even though you can have a great lifestyle on that, I remember back in the days when we first started selling, and if I got 2 orders a day, that would be fantastic for me. This was going back 2013. For me, 2 orders was a great win. It doesn't sound like much today, but 2 was fantastic. And then fast forward, I remember one morning we had a record morning when school went back in the US after the summer holidays, and we did $52,361 in 4 hours. And that was a fantastic experience. So guys, just put a yes in the chat if this is making sense. I just want to see if it's all going through for you guys. Love to have the interaction, put through the questions, but I just want to give you a background of myself. I just started as someone with no experience on Amazon and eventually be able to take 3 different brands to 7 figures. So who's this for today? So anyone new who's to Amazon, who's eager to start a side business, earn extra income and build a valuable asset. That's why I gave you that story before. For me, I was working a corporate job, selling 1 or 2 units a day, and this is what I wanted to do. Fast forward 12 years, and we actually had a successful exit, 3 brands doing over 7 figures each, really great outcomes. So you can start as a side hustle and see where it grows. Or you may have no Amazon selling experience, but you want to leave your job. And that's where I was 10 years ago. And it's definitely possible. I'm an example of this. And I'll talk later about what the pinnacle of selling Amazon was. We actually sold our business in 2021. We sold it for a multi-7-figure exit. It's on NDA, so I can't say the amount, but it was definitely in the enough to change the lifestyle. That's how we get to do so many holidays, and it was over a short period of time. Also, it's for people who are selling on Amazon. That's why I was asking at the start before about people who are already selling on Amazon. I wanted to find out what your experiences were, which marketplaces you're selling on Amazon, and to share the trial and errors and mistakes I've had. You often hear people talk, and they talk about, great, we did $52,000 in 4 hours, but we've made a lot of mistakes as well. That's why I want to share it with you. I've made easily over $100,000 in mistakes, and that's why I want to share this stuff with you to make sure you avoid that. I remember an experience. I did a yoga class, went with my wife. I actually set up some coupons wrong beforehand. I was about to go in the class, looked at my phone, well, the sales are coming fast. before the class, whoa, the sales are coming fast. I actually got a bit nervous, and during the class I left and I realized I put a coupon the wrong way, and we lost about $14,000 in now. The reason I share that with you is to make sure you have processes, which I go through in this webinar, to avoid that. So all those costly mistakes I've made, I can share with you so you don't make them, and you find out the best strategies that work on Amazon. And we're going to go through that today. Also, if you're generating between 1 or 10 million or more, and you just want to take it to the next level, you want to scale that business, I've got a whole bunch of ideas, strategies, processes that we use to make your business scale great. So guys, let me know what group you're in here. Put 1 if you're, let me just go back. If you're a new Amazon seller, put a 1. No Amazon selling, put a 2 in the chat. 3, you're selling on Amazon, but you want to grow more. Or 4, if you're happy to share, you're doing between 1 and 10 million a year or over. Just get the feedback from you guys. If you're happy to share, fantastic. I do like the engagement to know the audience, so I can tailor the slide as we go to work out the differences that we can do through there. So guys, put that in the chat. If you're a 1, new to Amazon. 2, no selling experience. 3, you start on Amazon, you're selling. Or a 4, you're already doing 1 to 10 million and you just want to take it to the next level. Great. So thanks for putting the comments in the chat. Great. Hugo, thank you. Camilla, great. Yeah, so Camilla, hopefully I can share you some great trial and error strategies, but also ones that really work for us. And if you're new seller, I hope you can take away from some of the lessons that we've taken that it's possible to go from nothing to a multi-7-figure business on Amazon. And maybe your goal is, and you may have different goals. Some people's goal is to get freedom in terms of the way they spend their time. Some people's goals is to be able to set up their family for life, maybe pass on an asset to future families. And some people is, I want to be able to take holidays 2-3 times a year and still be able to work remotely and do it that way. So everyone's got their own reasons. So guys, thanks for sharing that with you. So what you're going to learn today. So the first thing is how to create a world-class product listing that stands out. One thing I want to get through this webinar today is it must be world-class. Please, out of anything you take away, make sure your listing is world-class. Business is competitive, Amazon is competitive, but it will reward you if you're world-class. You need a listing that stands out, and we're going to go through the exact steps I'm going to show you to do that. The difference between the top 1 or 2 sellers and the bottom 2 is sometimes just a small few tweaks you need to do to make that change. People don't realize how close they are to success. Sometimes it's just joining a webinar like this, seeing 1 or 2 strategies that you implement that makes all the difference. Also going to show you how to build a review strategy that drives trust and conversion. Unlocking the power of keyword research to rank higher and reach your audience. Guys, Amazon is very data driven. I want you guys to make decisions based on data, and I'll show you data points on how to make those decisions. It's crucial that you have processes in line where you're reviewing what works and what doesn't work. Also with PPC, one thing I'd love to know, guys, is how much time you spend a week managing your PPC. Put in, if you don't spend any time a week, like you just let it go on auto, just put no time. If you spend an hour a week, put an hour, 2 hours. I'd love to know how much time you spend on PPC, because people often, I find 99% of people don't know the key metrics for scaling on Amazon for PPC success. So guys, just let me know. If you don't even manage your PPC, you just put on auto and maybe check in there once a month, put in no time, spend an hour, put in 1, put in 2. I'd love to know, guys, how much time you spend. So then it helps me with the presentation in terms of how much time we spend on there. Great, I mean, every day, great, you're really on top of it. Be interesting to see how other people spend it. And it's interesting because often people talk about ACOS, everyone's got their own way. So thanks, Jed, for your input. And lastly, I want to show you about the pro tips for launching and gaining momentum on Amazon. It's super important to know the product lifecycle of your business. One thing it does is it actually breaks down to what phase you are. We're going to talk about that. There's 4 different phases of Amazon. What you need in the launch phase, what to do in the growth phase, what to do in the establish when you're the top seller, and what happens when you're in the decline phase as well. People don't realize that you're always changing. Great, 10 hours a week. Thanks for the contribution. You may be one of the top sellers. I'm not sure that's you're one of the top $1 million, $10 million sellers a week. So that's really great. Thanks, guys, for putting the comments about how much time you spend on the PPC chat. So one thing I want also to take away is that sales on Amazon come down to 2 levers. And guys, I highly recommend you take notes on this. There is a recording of this. I'll check if there's a recording, but I highly recommend you take notes on this. The reason being when you write things down, you can go back and review them, but it does something with your brain that makes you remember it. And when you come down to sales on Amazon, it sounds simple, but there's two things you guys have got to know. What's your conversion? What's your traffic? So this whole presentation, when we come back, it all comes back to these points. What's your conversion? What's your traffic? And that can diagnose 99% of your problems. Great. So, and guys, I really want to get a lot of value out of this for you guys today as well. I'm here as a resource to educate you, to share all that time I've spent growing my business, all those countless hours, days, long weekends, growing Amazon business. So I want to get as much value for you guys from this presentation. So we will have a Q&A at the end, and please save up all the questions. I'd love to be able to answer them. So guys, foundation one, I'm going to go through 5 foundations today. So make sure you got the notepad out, or if you're doing it on the laptop, keep your notes. But the first one is how to create a world-class listing that stands out. This one I really want to remember. If we can take a key takeaway from the call, remember, always think to yourself when you look at your ASIN, is this world-class listing? Does it stand out? Have that forefront of your mind. The reason being, as I show over the page, this is one of the key drivers for your success on Amazon. This is one way we took a brand from launching at $599. Remember the first week they had $599 in sales, and 10 months later it was $972,000. This was the baseline. This was the foundation. So I'm going to run through this now for you guys. So the success principle 1, you need a world-class image. First of all, rendered images. It's worth spending the money to get a rendered image. The reason I say that, you see people with the iPhones, people take them, they don't look great. There's a few things I want you to take away from this. A, has to be rendered 4 to 5, take up the main part of the screen. And I'll show you in a couple of slides later about how to split test this against your competition. There's something we talk about in Amazon, it's called stop the scroll, which is your click-through rate. It's so important. If you're in a competitive niche and your main image is the exact same as everyone else, people on the search result, scroll, they scroll past your listing. Some of these most simple concepts are the most effective. Don't confuse complexity with success. One thing I can never understand is how people don't spend time and investing on their main image. The way I count success in this is you split test it until it beats your competition. And I'll show you an example over a couple of slides of how to do that. So world-class main image is an absolute must. So this one here, the one on the left, this was beforehand. So it's just got the bottle before. Just by adding something in here, you can probably, actually, can people notice, just tell us if people can tell the differences. I just want to make sure everyone's just seeing the key differences. So we made 2 main changes to the product on the right. Sorry, the product on the right has 2 main changes. Just put in the chat if you can just notice what the 2 main changes are. Just put in bullet point. I just want to see the feedback if people can notice the difference. And then I'll show in the slide the impact this will have on customer preference. So just in the chat, just put the two main differences we put in. Okay. So what you'll notice here is that, yes, the product packaging. So the reason we do product packaging is it takes up a large amount of the page. Also gives the stronger branding, but also if you notice down the bottom here, it actually has a product, the capsules. What we found is actually showing the product inside, it takes away some of that curiosity of the product. So people in here, people often wonder, yep, so I made closer and cleaner pills. Yep, exactly. So you notice even excellent, you really picked them up. There's actually 3, but so the pills, yes. What you want to do is always, as much as possible, show the consumer what they're going to get. So, yep, great quality colors. So exactly right, guys. What you want to do is show the consumer what they're going to get. So yes, everyone's probably had tablets before they've bought them, but the mind actually sees it. It takes away some of that question of, oh, I wonder how big the tablet's going to be. What color are they going to be? It takes away some of those questions, and you want to remove all the potential objections. And a lot of these are subconscious before a consumer buys them as well. But also, if you look at the coloring, you pick up right. See, this one here's just not as sharp. You can see in here it's just not as sharp. All those little things add up. I'll show you over the page the difference it makes. So the first thing I want to recommend, stop the scroll. So take a step back. Don't worry about all the sexy SEO settings, the latest viral launch, doing this, black hat. Take a step back, and I'll show you exactly what to do next. Take a step back and saying, how can I improve my main listing image? And guys, does anyone, just put in the chat, does anyone know how you can test this? How can you make sure that yours beats the competition? There's a few different ways, and I'll show an example over the page, but feel free to put in the chat about how can you actually test this against the competition. So an example here, super simple. We did an airplane toy and added in the packaging. Super simple test. We did this, so you can do this within Amazon. I just want to see if anyone's got it in the chat yet. You can do this within Amazon through experiments, or you can also do it through tools that allow you to split test against the competition. So this one here, something so simple. If you said to someone here, picture, yep, picture with packaging. Almost 70% of people prefer this product over the one without the packaging. So what I suggest first is you take your own image and then work out how you can improve it to get the highest conversion. So this one here significantly performed better than the top one. That's your first step. Then your second step is take the competition's product, do another survey like this, show your one, and you need to keep doing variations until you beat the competition. To give you an example, we did this with a product that was launched about 18 months ago. The competitor was very successful, and I could not work out why we weren't getting the high click-through rate. So we weren't getting stopping the scroll. I looked at the competitor's product, and they had accessories in the image, which is allowed if it has that. We did that, and we did 12 different versions, and we still couldn't beat it. And what it came down to, we didn't realize, is that the competitor's product was black on the packaging. Our packaging was blue. And when we went and got the feedback, people said black felt more trustworthy than the blue. So that's not for every niche. This was in the science category, industrial science. And just by changing the color of the packaging, so we had to reorder the packaging from black to blue, we were able to beat the competition. Now, that's the extent that I go to. I'm on the extreme in terms of building success on Amazon. But we went through 12 iterations until we beat the competition through click-through. In this one here, even if you did 2 or 3, you're going to get massive difference in terms of your traffic. This will make a huge difference in your traffic. You can go through and improve your traffic by 50%, and you're doing just say 1,000 sessions a month. You can get an extra 50%, an extra 500 sessions, a day, just by improving your main image. That's how powerful it is. So guys, you got to take a step back. How do we become world-class? Well, first of all, how do you know your listing is world-class? First of all, how do you improve your listing so it's world-class? And then against the competition, what do you need to do to beat that? Spend money, make sure it's a world-class listing for the main image, and the results will be fantastic. Here's another example. This is a pro tip. Every now and then you'll see pro tip on the side. Before I move on, guys, just put in the box if you split test your main image before. Just put a yes if you've done it before, like split test your main image, and put a no if you haven't, because I just want to see in the audience how many people have gone through and split tested their main image. Just give me a yes if you split test your main image, or a no if you haven't done that before. It really helps me because I can find out in terms of the audience how to cater the presentation and what examples I want to go through. So if you've done split testing before for your main image and you got results, you know what works best, put a yes, and if you haven't, put a no. I'd really love to see the feedback. So as I wait till those come through. Now this is a pro tip here. So this is the same product, 2 different ratios. And there's a couple of little tweaks here you may notice. Great. Okay, so this one here, what I highly recommend is you use a ratio of 4 to 5. The reason is if you pull out, great, thanks guys for the results as well. It really helps me understand. Yeah, so one takeaway from this one, I'd highly suggest do a split test as your first action item. What I recommend with these presentations, take notes, write out all the things you want to do, then choose 1 or 2 that you're going to implement within 24 hours. It's way better just to implement 1 or 2 ideas within the next 24 hours and see the results. So guys, for what I highly recommend from today's presentation, do a split test of your main image. So this one here is also the main image. What you'll notice now is that more and more browsing and purchases are moving to mobile devices. So the difference between these two here, same product, but just put in the chat if you notice the difference between the two. And there's 2 sort of, actually there's probably 3 major differences. Put in the chat if you know what they are. I'll run you through them. The biggest difference is the ratio. If you look at this one on mobile, the one on the left versus the one on the right, the one on the left will take up far much more display on the screen. And that's fantastic. The reason being, then you get more description on your listing as well. Sometimes Amazon's always changed the layout. Sometimes even things like your limited deal price or your coupon can be shown more easily if you've got a higher image, because then there's more script, there's more room for text underneath. So what we recommend as well is for the main image, use 4 to 5. So you see they did a couple of things here. They made this little angle here so it shows a little bit cooler. It shows it how it's adjustable. But the main thing is a 4 to 5 ratio. And I'll add these pro tips throughout the presentation. It really helps. All these small things add up. If you can improve 1% every day, by the end of the month, you've made a huge improvement. So pro tip here, make sure your main image is 4 to 5 ratio. So I want to just talk about a couple of things here about the world-class image, about why conversion is so important. So Amazon puts conversion. So Amazon has a whole bunch of different criteria for ranking on Amazon. Conversion is one of the highest ones possible. So what you want is, and I'll go through this over the next slides, how to get high conversion. But what conversion means is high conversion, Amazon gives you a higher page rank, which means more traffic. So when we talked about the two levers at the start, there's traffic and conversion. High conversion equals more traffic. The second one is high conversion equals lower cost per click for PPC. Amazon wants to reward you for high converting products. A, because the customer's better because they get what they want. B, Amazon gets the fee and sale for conversion. So they help you get a lower CPC. And conversion also means you're more likely to win the ad auction and get on page 1. One thing about Amazon, we'll talk about this later in the PPC. You can bid for the same keyword as your competitor. If they convert higher, they're going to get a cheaper cost per click and they're more likely to be shown for it. So the next few slides, I'm going to show you about why conversion is so important, examples of it, but I just want to give you some context around that. One thing in the chat, just put down if you actually know what your conversion rate, so your unit session percentage, they call it in Amazon. So conversion rate is if you have 100 visitors and you get 15 sales, 15 divided by 100 is 15%. So just let me know if you guys monitor your conversion rate, and just put in the chat if you're happy to share what your conversion rates is. If you don't know, put don't know, but just put in the chat if you know what your conversion rate is. Also in Amazon, it's also known as unit session percentage. So there's one point I always say, there's no point having the best product if no one visits your landing page. So you'd have this fantastic product, it's going to change the world. Things I made for the stats, 4%. No point having this fantastic product, no one knows about it. That's why you got to stop the click. That's why you want to have that that main image so fantastic to stop the scroll. Okay, success principle 2. So this is all under the foundation still. We're still on point 1, foundation step. You've got to understand your buyer's intent. So buyer intent is, what is your customer looking for? What do they want to get out of it? So understanding your buyer's intent, your main image is about traffic. So we spend all that time. The reason we want to spend all that time on the main image. So when people scroll down, they see your image, they click there. Main image is all about traffic. Listing images, so these are images 2 to 8, is all about conversion. Third one, who's your buyer? Who's your ideal customer? So if you think about a product, if you're selling a fitness ball or a Pilates mat, is it mums 35 to 45? Is it a kid's microscope? All those ones are the questions you want to be asking, and you want to put your avatar in the image and have them using the product. So this is very high level principles. Main image is traffic, listing images is conversion. Who's your buyer? Put them in the product, put them in the image using the product. And on your second part is that your bullet points need to be 50% for buyer intent and 50% for keyword rank. So you can see down here, this listing here, really well built out. It's not spammy. They've got the right keywords in here. This one here, this is really going to struggle in keyword rank. The buyer wouldn't even know about this if they're in the product. So this is just an example. Imagery, main one is about traffic, second one about conversion. Bullet points down here, 50% for conversion, 50% for keyword rank. Okay, so these are the rules to live by, and I'm going to give you examples over page. Main image has to be world-class, get render if possible. Secondary images, you've got to use real people, not photoshopped or those ones that you see stretched out. And conversion is king. Build your listing for who your avatar is. Your avatar is your ideal client. You must know who is your ideal client, who's the person that most often buys your product. Build your listing around them. The reason being, if you know their pains, their weaknesses, what they want out of life, what problems they have, you build your listing around them. converts high. We talked about conversion being the king on Amazon. That's why we build it around here. So I'll give you some examples now around this. Okay, main image. These two products are almost identical in the offering. This one is just a product alone. This one here, it shows you get a phone adapter, a user guide, 2 different microscope lenses, microscope slide case, lens here, lens here. This one just has a product alone. If you're looking at this one here, you're much more likely to go to the one on the left because it looks like so much more value being given. Secondary, you must use real people in your imagery. This is a massage gun. So they're targeting, okay, so there's a guy working out using the weights. The product actually being used, this is not a product taken and then they've tried to Photoshop it on someone. And who's your ideal avatar? How's the product used? So you want to use people. This is when I talk about secondary image about conversion. Who's your ideal avatar? Get them using the product. And then if you compare that to some other ones, this is a real product being used. This is one of those ones I talk about Photoshopped. Please, please do me a favor. Never have product images like this. There's a swimming pool and someone's taken a picture of a family and put them on top. The reason I say that is you just lose all your credibility. You have these type of images on your listing, you lose all your credibility. And you'll notice that in terms of your conversion rates. There's a lot of factors that affect conversion rate, but just say someone does click on your listing and then this is the second one they see. If they think, if you can't spend money getting really great imagery, then how do I even know your product's going to be world-class? Generally, if someone hasn't spent time to get great imagery, they probably haven't spent time to make sure their product's fantastic. So guys, just put in the chat, if you're selling on Amazon or you're about to sell Amazon, or you sell online, do you use who your ideal avatar is in your product listings? Just put a yes or a no. So a yes if you actually have photos like this of someone using the product, and put a no if you don't have any avatars. So you don't have anyone actually using your product. You just got different images of your product and maybe some text over it. Just put a yes if you use people using it, and put a no if you don't have people in your imagery. I just like to get a feedback of the group. Okay, so conversion. Build your listing around your avatar. Remember I talked about who's the most likely to buy your product? In this case, we're looking at microscopes. So this product here, microscope for teenagers. See, they've got a teenager using the product. If a teenager comes in or a parent who's going to probably buy this product, they look at it, they say, oh, okay, yep, that's the size of it, that's how it works. This is the person using it. Great, understood. Next one, kids. You want to use a different one here. Kids, you use a much younger kid using the product. So when someone sees it, they go, oh, okay, I can understand. And you'll notice that there's a mother there using the product. So the mother can picture herself using the product with the kid. The teenager, no mother there, they use the product by themselves. Great. Guys, thanks for the feedback in the chat about using images. Again, type out that action list. What are ideas? If you haven't got people in there, how can you get that done? Just write a list of the actions, and then at the end of the call, what are the top 1 or 2 you're going to implement to get the most value? Okay. So what I want to also run through is the other part of the rules to live by. Bullet points are used to rank and convert. Don't spam the keywords. People know now about a spammy keyword listing. If you see one that may not have been touched for 4 or 5 years and there's just keyword everywhere, please don't do that. Bullet points are used to rank and convert. They have to be written well. Is your product world-class? Have you read your reviews and fixed the issues? I'll talk about reviews on the next section. It's so important. And don't have a leaking bucket. Focus, in terms of priority, you focus on conversion first before traffic. The reason I say that is if you have conversion at, just say your conversion is at 5%. So 100 divided by 5, for every 20 people that visit your site, you get a sale. It's at 5%. If you can get your conversion from 5 to 10%, you've doubled your sales. Fantastic. Then once you've doubled your conversion, then you can double your sales, you've doubled that again, so it's ×4 improvement. So the strategy is always do conversion first, not traffic. The reason being, people start spending money, sending more traffic to convert to their listing, and it's not converting right. They don't have world-class best practice. Get your conversion right first, and that's why I'm showing you all these tools and strategies. Okay. Great. I'm just going to pause for 10 seconds around Foundation 1. Just put a yes if this stuff's making sense. I just want to get some feedback if you're getting value from this. about the speed of it. I really want to make sure you guys are taking this in, taking some notes, really understanding what we need to implement to get a world-class listing. My job here today is to make you guys succeed. I want to share with you the way I've succeeded in the past so you can take some of these learnings for you guys to succeed. So if this stuff's making sense, please put a yes. Love to get the feedback during the call. Fantastic. And guys, please understand, I've been in the shoes of not selling on Amazon, starting to sell on Amazon, moving up to 6-figure sales, moving to 7-figure sales, to eventually selling an Amazon business. So I've gone through the whole process from 0 to multi-7 figures to multi-7-figure exit. And that was during the aggregator boom of 2021. So guys, my goal is to share this value with you guys. So step 2, building a review strategy that drives trust and conversion. Okay, one thing you got to know, we talked at the start, your listing has to be world-class, and then reviews are the lifeblood of your Amazon success. Amazon puts so much time and money into the review system, and when I say that, they don't allow manipulation. They want reviews that are genuine and real, because that's what people spend a lot of their credibility on purchasing on. That's why you need a world-class product. It has to be a product that does its purpose and exceeds expectations. I'll put a few benchmarks here. So the absolute minimum review score you want for selling on Amazon is 4. That's the minimum. Once you're below 4, you're going to have major issues with your conversion rate. My aim is for always 4.5 stars and above. If you're under 4.5, if you're under 4 stars, generally it shows you have a material problem with your product. So don't blame Amazon if you're under 4 stars. Generally, if you're under 4 stars, you have an issue with your product that needs to be addressed. See it as an improvement opportunity. You'll be pretty quick why you're getting under 4 stars. Generally, it's product related, and find out why. But guys, what I want to do is set your expectation of getting over 4.5 stars, and then ideas to be able to get that as well. So you got to get your house in order. So the first one, AMZScout has a pro AI tool. I'm actually going to show it later. It's really cool. If it was around when I was launching, it would have saved me a lot of time and money I spent on marketing consultants for new ideas. So I'll show you that later. But also, you must read your negative reviews. Put a yes in the chat or a no. Put a yes if you once a week you spend time going through your negative reviews and reviewing them to find out what the issues are. Put a no if you don't. Put a no if you don't review them. I just want to see how many people spend time on that, because people often see negative reviews as an annoyance on Amazon. It's frustrating. Yes, I understand that. But also it's an opportunity to fix problems. So just put a yes if you do review, if you put time aside every week to review negative reviews, and put a no if you don't review them. Great. Thanks, Jed. I really appreciate the feedback, guys, as well. Okay. So what I generally suggest, 2 and 3 stars are the best for product ideas. 1 stars are people often just venting something. So often the 1 stars are just off on a vent. 2 and 3 stars will show you your best improvement opportunities, and what you need to do to your product to improve that. So what can you do? So a few things I'd recommend. Great guys to see that you guys are reviewing your negative reviews. So one thing I always suggest is, how can we improve the product delivery? So generally reviews are negative when the product doesn't meet the expectation. So they have an expectation of a product coming in, they get it, there's a fault with the product or what you sold them on. So what your imagery was, what your bullet point was, almost like what your commitment to them, what it delivers, wasn't met. So the first one is, I always recommend having an insert with a legitimate extended warranty for Amazon sellers. So it has to be legitimate. It has to be an insert just for sellers on Amazon, and they get an additional warranty. The great thing about this is when you get their warranty, you do get their email details. And one thing what I'll find is that when people sign up for stuff like this, they're more likely to contact you first rather than go through the Amazon system. Just always make sure you're compliant with terms of service. You can't on Amazon is ever ask someone to add or remove a review or incentivize them. So you have to be terms of service. And this is a terms of service legit. If it's a legitimate extended warranty that you're extending, not part of the normal one, but just say you normally offer a 6-month. If this is an extended one, 12-month, highly recommend doing it with an insert. The second one, and this was really surprising, put in instruction guide or way to add value that people don't expect. When you get your product, it so often comes in a box, they open it, and there's nothing to show it. Okay, maybe if it's a vitamin, you don't need a world-class listing, but I'm sure even a personal note, and you can make notes that look personalized, thanking the person for the purchase. Really important to have. What we did here with a product, we actually spent the time and made a few versions, and we made an amazing instruction guide. I'll show this later on. What this did was everyone had their own product, and we went back and read negative reviews. So our process read negative reviews on a product, and people were saying, product is hard to use, it's complex, don't know how to use it. We went through, and there's a few things we did, but one thing we did was spend time and developed. It ended up being about I think it was a 32-page guide in the end. It was less than 50 cents a print. An amazing guide about how to use the product, all the instructions on it. And that was what really projected our product into success for it. It sounds really simple. People don't go to the effort of making a great instruction guide. It was on good quality paper, professionally designed by a graphic designer. You can get people cost next to peanuts to get these things designed. Went the effort, put it in there, and it made a massive, massive difference. The reason is it exceeded people's expectations. They thought they'd get the product, the guide really helped them with them. An example of this one here, we talked about the reviews you want to get to. Product had 4.7 star reviews at over 7,000 listings. When you're at 4.7 star, Amazon's Choice Badge, you know you're doing something right. There was product issues. People weren't understanding how to use the product. Gave unexpected value, the world-class user guide. They also got an extended warranty as well. So that's what we used in terms of how to make the product take off and grow. So guys, take a step back. Think about what could you do for your product on Amazon? What could you do to add to your product to exceed expectations? If you're happy to share with it, put in the chat. Just put in something you could think about doing with your product to exceed expectations. It could be an online training guide, additional videos. What could you do to exceed expectations? Or it could be looking at your reviews and finding what issues there are that you need to improve upon. Quick one. This is one of the pro tips. Amazon does allow you to contact customers now if there is an issue with the product. You can't ask them to review the reviews. You got to have brand registry. That's why at the start I was saying who's got a trademark, because trademarks allow you to look at your negative reviews, and if there's an issue, there's a button now if an issue needs to be resolved. So that's just a pro tip that's come out. I think it's been out for about 4 or 5 months. Amazon's constantly changing it. Amazon basically, one thing that you have to adhere to is the terms and service of product reviews. You cannot manipulate them. You have to be adhere to service. You cannot ask people to change a review or incentivize them. The best thing is make a world-class product, add value, and you'll get great reviews. Okay, so if you're launching a product, what can you do for reviews? So there's the Amazon Vine program. So it's a program open to people now, and it's a way to get up to 30 reviews quite fast. Also Facebook community group. So one thing also for launching a product's all about how do you get the reviews out there and how do you get sales velocity to start ranking. One thing we recommend is go to Facebook groups. What's your niche? Are you in the education area? Are you selling a product for stay-at-home mums or sewing kit? How can you get in that authority area and give value and become authority? Once you've got that, we recommend having a Google survey form to get Facebook about your product. People will feel, if you've helped someone else, they'll probably want to help you. If you're giving a lot of value and saying you're launching a product, it's great. Then through these surveys, you can build up, and I've seen people build up survey lists of up to 1,000 people before they launch a product. They go through, they've been adding value for a month. They say, hey, by the way, we'd love to get your feedback on launching a new product. Would you mind going to this survey form? And then part of the form is, when we launch on Amazon, are we okay to email you about our product launch to buy a product? And then you launch that database. Look, I could do a full webinar about this process, but it's one of the best ways you can launch on Amazon fast to build out the listing. So that's for new people. If you're an established listing, think about your audience contacts on-site and outside of Amazon. And there's also products and tools out there where you can request a review. And there's some smarts around that where you can actually say, look, if someone's refunded the product, don't give them a review. On average, Amazon is about 1%, maybe 2% of your product sales will give you product reviews. So it's very, very low, but you just got to make sure that you stay on top of that. So guys, I'm just going to take a breather again. We're up to foundation 3. So we've got 5 foundations to go through, and I really want to make sure you got value on this one. So this is when we're starting to get into the nuts and bolts of using some of the keyword data. One thing I recommend to people, if you want to be successful on Amazon, use data. Don't go off gut feel. Use data. Use data points. Conversion rate. What's your conversion rate? What's your conversion rate's best practice? What keywords are you ranking on? what's your competitor ranking on? What keywords do you need to rank on? And that's what Foundation 3 is about. It's unlocking the power of keyword research to rank higher and reach your audience. And I just want to take a step back and say, look, keyword ranking, it's like climbing Everest. You don't go from base camp straight to the top. Take it with easy steps. Easy steps. You go up to stage 1, you come back down, reclimatize. Go to stage 2, have a rest, come back down, climatize. It's a process of going up, resting, reevaluating, come back down. And the reason I say that with Amazon is it takes time to rank. So I'll go through shortly the different life cycles of product. There's the launching, growth, established, and then declining. But what you want to do is you use your data. So what are the keywords you start with that you know you can rank for? Have I achieved that? Tick. Take a break. What's the next level of keywords we want to rank for? I'll show you AMZScout, actually some of the tools you can use to show that. It's absolutely fantastic. You can actually say, okay, these are keywords on a target. I'm going to set my objective for the next 3 to 4 weeks to get to that. So I want to be ranking for these keywords. Once I've got that, I solidify it. Then what are the next keywords? Then we go back to, remember the start of the presentation, you talk about what's my buyer intent. Make sure that keyword matches your listing bullets, matches your imagery. So that's why I give the analysis. On Amazon, it's not straight to the top. Go up a bit, achieve your keyword goals, have a rest. What are the next keyword goals? Go up again, achieve those keyword goals, go up. So guys, it'd be great to just hear you guys. Just put in the chat. Give me a yes. Do you guys plan your keywords on a monthly goal? Like, do you target what keywords you want to rank on? Do you monitor them? Do you have a quarterly plan about this is the next set of keywords? Just put a yes if you have a keyword strategy, and just put a no if you don't. And guys, this is a system to learn from. If you're happy to share, fantastic. So guys, if you have a keyword strategy, let me know. Just put a yes. If you don't, put a no. And remember, this webinar is all about learning. How can you take the lessons from success and apply them to yourself? Remember, you got that action list of all these ideas you want to implement. That's what the purpose of this call is about. Okay, so AMZScout, they got a fantastic tool. And one thing I want you to remember, you need data to run these. And I'm going to show you AMZScout, their tool in terms of how to get the data out. I'll show you some things with the reverse ASIN, keyword tracker, keyword search tools, really beneficial in terms of being used. I'll go through this keyword strategy at the moment. Let me just do the live. Let me just go over the page. Oh, sorry, I'll just take a step back. So one thing I want to make sure when we go through this is you want to be focusing 1 to 2 keywords at a time. The reason being, the way the algorithm works is that you need sales for a keyword and converting on them. So there's no point saying I'm going to rank on 10 keywords this month and get to page 1 on all of them. You're much better saying, what are the 1 or 2 keywords I definitely want to rank on, get that conversion, and then I'm at the top, because it's way, way better to begin sales and ranking for 1 or 2 keywords that 100% bring in sales. You get sales every day from those keywords, than trying for 10 keywords and you're not ranking on any of them and you're getting no sales. So often I see the shotgun approach. I go, I want to rank on all these different keywords. People don't rank on any and they get no sales. Think about it. If you can rank on 1 or 2 keywords every month, getting sales from them, next month, 1 or 2 more keywords. So that means every month you get sales from one of those 2 keywords. Next month, you get sales on those 1 or 2 plus another 1 or 2. That means by the end of the year, you got 24 keywords you know you're ranking on, and some of them will continue, some of them drop back. That's why it's like Everest. But so much more important to achieve a keyword goal before you move on to the next one. And you got to understand your keywords to your product lifecycle. Mature products. So that's why I was starting to ask where you're selling on Amazon. If you're at the start, you launch on Amazon, lower search volume keywords. If you're mature, it's higher search volume. And I'm going to give you a demo shortly of exactly how that works. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll just share my screen. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this is the AMZScout tool about how to use some of it. So what I've typed in here is molecular model kit. It's come up with a bunch of search terms. And this is the AMZScout Pro AI tool. When I started out, none of these tools were available. These tools are absolute game changers. The difference it makes is unbelievable. Like the first thing I do when I'm looking at a product, I'll go to this screen here, and then I'll scroll across here, and I'll look at, where is it, estimated revenue. Straight away, So I'll sort by that. Look, straight away, I can check. And remember I typed in molecular model kit. So that's one there, that's one there, that's one there. So this one's not a molecular kit. So that one's not red. So look at this one here, Old Nobby. It's got all the revenue broken down here straight away. It's absolutely fantastic. So straight away, that's the first thing I go to. The second thing I go to straight away, and that's why at the start, if you haven't launched a product yet, this tool's like unbelievable. Actually shows you the net profit you're going to make. Shows the FBA fees. So I could go straight away, see this product here. I think this one they've reduced it this week or this month. I know how much FBA fees. I know how much net margin is, less my cost from buying it, and straight away know if that's a product I'd be interested in buying. It's got some really cool stuff as well. I just want to show you another one that I really enjoy. Look at this one here. It's actually got a product score for you. So you can actually go through here and say, okay, which ones here actually looks like a good one? Higher the score, the better it is. So this takes away, I can quickly go and have a look at this, and it says, okay, product score, medium for profits. You don't need a lot of reviews. The listing quality is average. Big opportunity for revenue. Straight away, you can just scan through these ones and see high level, how much money I'm going to make in revenue. What's the potential? What's the cost? And then what's the product listing score? So these things are absolutely amazing in terms of showing what you can get out of it. Another one I'll show you, and this one I absolutely love. So let me go here. So this is the molecular kit model. So that's just the foundation. So you can go to Amazon, use this tool straight away, find out what the competition's selling, how much money they're making, and how strong their listing is in a few clicks. So this is the molecular kit model market. So I went in here, like if you click on, say, this listing here, which is this one here, it's actually got an AI tool. I absolutely love this one here, and I can give a personalized story about this one. So this product here, we sold to universities and colleges. But what we found is they actually approached us. I didn't think of this strategy. If you go through here, it's actually got an insight. It shows you the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I was reading through here, and it's also got an improvement idea, like what can you do to your product? And one of the improvements idea in here, it says to expand distribution channels. To one of them was, I looked before, it said increase to distribution channels like universities and schools. When I looked up the other day, target educational institutions and students. This was unbelievable. If you look at here, to actually give you ideas to boost on Amazon, like what are ideas you haven't thought of? And then under here, under the improvement ideas, this one here, the reason this was such a great seller was we built a world-class instruction guide. But they actually said, like, you could really stand out by having an online interactive tutorial, maybe some AR augmented reality. But even you had an online tutorial where you put all your videos or your instructions, and they think that could even boost conversions by 10 to 15%. Like, this is a fantastic tool. This is an AI tool that's part of it. I highly recommend it. You know, before we're talking about the negative reviews, how to read these, that helps you identify what the issues are. The AI tool helps you identify what the improvement opportunities are. So this is a new product. I think it's only been around a few months, the AI, but if I could say to someone, what would I do on Amazon? Definitely read your reviews. You got to make that. But this actually tells you ideas what we can do to improve the product. Look, I'm going to give you a pro tip here. This is the interface for AMZScout. As I said before, you have to be using data. They have a tool here that says keyword tracker. So I've just gone in here and I've added, and this is the microscope market here. I've added in one of the top sellers here, and this is I'll give you a quick pro tip. Always check if your product's indexed. A question I often get is, my sales have just plummeted. I'm not sure why. I say, okay, is it traffic? Is it conversion? They look at it. It's traffic. Oh, okay. Traffic means something's happened with a keyword. Either happened with a keyword or the overall market, there's been a big dip in it. Keyword tracker here, what it does is it allows you to go and put for an ASIN what the keywords are you want to rank for. See this one here? This is one of the products, and they're not indexed for this keyword. So this keyword is, I know this is one of the top keywords for a product, and they're not indexed. That means they're not going to show in the keyword in the search results. Indexing means Amazon has your knows about your keyword. Ranking means where you appear. You can't rank before you're indexed. So this is one of those pro tips. If you ever have something like you wake up one day and the sales have just disappeared and your product's still working, often the product's lost its indexing. So this is one of the pro tips. This type of information, it's absolute game changer to be able to have these tools to find out straight away. Like if you wake up one day and you're doing $5,000 a day in sales, and you wake up one day and it's down to 1,000, I'd go straight away to this and see if there's been an issue with your indexing. I want to show you some other things as well with the reverse ASIN. So there's a product here called Reverse ASIN Lookup, and this tool is fantastic. You know, we were talking about before about what keywords to rank on, what ones to use. So what AMZScout have done, if they got a keyword ranking tool, it makes it so much easier for you guys. I'll actually show you the keywords in terms of effectiveness. So what are the keywords that are most likely to convert for a sale? Like this is actually fantastic, and it ranks it from a 10, which are great keywords, down to lower ones. And you can use this as a system. You know, when we're talking about the start, you want to have systems and processes. So this will actually show you a strategy on how to get ranking and sales in. So one process I recommend is go find the ASIN. So what you do here, put in your ASIN. So this is the microscope market. So we went down here, took this ASIN here. So if you actually open it up here, you go through here, and this one, let me just move this up. So what you do, you go through here, grab the ASIN, you copy it, go through here, add it in here, and find keywords. So that's how it brings back. As easy as that. So you go back, I'll just take it back. Just say in the microscope market, open up AMZScout, you'll find a bunch of the products, copy the ASIN, you do a few here, hit find keywords, and this is what you use for your keyword ranking. So if you go down here, I sort by this first, keyword effectiveness. I look for all the ones in greens. So all the ones in greens are here. Okay, so we look at this one, and it even shows the search volume and the average keyword sales. So this is where I take it back to what's your life cycle. If you're in launch, you're not going to go for the really big search keyword volumes and the big sales. You want to go for the low ones. If you're more established, you go for the high ones. But just by looking at this today, see this one here, 1000x microscope, score of 7, average keyword sales per month. Absolutely crazy. So if you go into here, so let me go back here now. Let me just, sorry, I just want to bring this. Okay, so let me bring this one down here. So if I'm looking through this, this is really, these tools are amazing what you can do in terms of your ranking. You got to have that straight. So 1000x microscope, high keyword effectiveness tool, searches here, and then sales here. So I'm going through this one here. And then if you go through and look at the listing, okay, this is 4,000 to 2,000. So this means it's 1,000 to 2,000. This means it's 1,000 to 2,000. So it means it's within that range of 1,000, 2,000. The top keyword in this niche, really big sales, like 10,000 units a month. No one's got that one in their title. What they've done is everyone's put from 40 to 2,000. All they need is a separate bullet point, 1,000x, build a listing around this. I'd put something, everyone's searching for 1,000x microscope. The first, like this is an absolute no-brainer. Change the title so you got 1,000x in there. Second image, I'd put something to do with 1,000x on there and get that market share. Like this is the lowest hanging fruit. And I found that literally in a couple of minutes by going to the reverse ASIN lookup, find what the competition, find all the keywords from the competition, look from the green ones. What are the easy ones to rank on? The most effective, look at keyword sales, and then go and look at the competition. No one's doing that. No one's putting that 1,000x in there. Straight away, that'd be the quickest win. So guys, if you got AMZScout today, write down an action line, go put in your top 4 to 5 competitors in the reverse ASIN lookup. So you go here, reverse ASIN lookup, paste them in, find, look up effective keywords. Anything in green, look those ones up. Make sure they match your buyer intent. So which ones match your buyer's intent? Look at that against your keyword sales. And what's the low hanging fruit? Like this is an absolute gold mine. If anyone's in the Microsoft niche watching this, do that one today. A couple other ones I just want to show as well. There's a really cool tool here called the keyword search. So in this case here, I'm going back to the example of molecular model kit. So I've typed that in here and it shows you some of the keywords here. But what I want to show you here is actually shows you the search volume over time. Now, the reason this is so important is it actually shows you when are the peak periods for your sales in this product. So you're looking at this one here. September, October are the biggest sales periods. December's okay. February's not bad. So this means it's a seasonal product when school goes back. So if you're looking at here, small, even during the July period, kids are on holiday. So this is a product that are generally used by school kids. And this actually shows the search issue. So this actually shows you when do you need to be really having your stock high. Look at the search volume there, 4,500 for this keyword. It's almost gone up, what's that, 5 extra in this period. So this is when you need ramping up. That means in August, you need to be ranking, set up your campaign, set up your listing for this keyword, because come September, that's when all the sales come. And what's even better than that, if you click through here, you can actually go through and find your competition and find out what their rank is for those periods. Because you can actually show here if competitors are actually selling out of stock, what their inventory levels are. And it's really cool. I just waited to load for a moment. And look, I know this is going to be technical, but it's super simple using these tools. Like, you only need 3 or 4 processes using these tools, and it makes an absolute huge difference. So you can actually go through here and then click on this one. And it'll actually show you their ranking for that keyword over a time, over the product history. So what you'll find here, look, these guys were ranking. So coming through here in September, this is their biggest period, and actually ran out of stock before the biggest period here. Again, these guys, September, October was the biggest period, and they've run out of stock again because it shows their product rank. Oh, sorry, it's done the opposite. So this is when their ranking's gone extremely well. So lower the better. So they've been selling here. They smashed it during this period. The reason you want to do that is actually shows you seasonality. It helps you prepare for when you need to get your product ready for the launch period. So you should know this. Like, this is something you do maybe once a quarter. Okay, check in. This is the search volume, and you do this across keywords. You say, okay, this is a big keyword at this period. Normally get 5 or 6 of your keywords. So, I talked about the reverse ASIN. Go to the reverse ASIN, look at the 5 or 6 keywords. You add them in here, and you can actually plan out your year. So that's super, super important. And lastly, these tools are really cool. Just put a yes in the chat if you're using any of these strategies. Put a yes if you use the AI tool for improvements. If you're checking your indexing, put a yes. If you're using the reverse ASIN, so you know which keywords to rank on, or if you're even searching for keywords, just put a yes. And look, lastly, they've even built a AI product listing. Basically, you got all your data here from reverse ASIN. You may not be great at writing listings. They've actually got a keyword tool here. You put in your keywords here, and you hit generate, and actually builds out a listing that shows you all the keywords you got from your research here. I just want to see if that's resonating with people. I know I was asking, do you guys use processes around that? Basically, I just want to show you these tools not that long ago weren't as advanced they are now. Like these AI ones, that of all those, that's probably my favorite one because it gives you so many ideas for improvements. It's absolutely fantastic. The must-haves are reverse ASIN lookup. Definitely look at keyword effectiveness. So go for those low-hanging fruit. You can rank on easy, high sales volume. Go back, what's your buyer's intent, change your listing. That's why it's super important. Then there's also the keyword search. Okay, look at the keyword search. What are the periods where there's high search volume, and you got to get ready the month before? Have you got your inventory ready? Make sure you've got that. Then there's the AI tool as well, and there's a whole bunch of other ones, but I don't want to go through that. I want to make sure that we give you value, but also how you can implement it. Okay, guys, now we're on Foundation 4, and just let me take a moment just for a sip. Okay, so understanding PPC metrics for scaling for success. I remember asking at the start how long people spend actually on PPC today. I'd love to know. Just put in the chat again if you weren't at the start. Do you monitor your PPC each week? Like, do you just log in and check the numbers, or do you spend time on it? If you don't actually go in and have steps in place like a process, just put no. If you spend an hour, 2 hours, just put in the chat. I'd love to get the feedback on it. Okay. So guys, PPC, very similar to conversion, to making products successful. It's about ranking, conversion, and TACOs. TACOs is your total advertising cost of sales. It's how much you spend on advertising versus total sales. You don't need to measure. Everyone talks about ACOS because it's a metric shown in Amazon. That's what people talk about, ACOS, advertising cost of sales. Shows you what you spend, how many sales you get from it. It's not about that. PPC is a ranking tool. It's how much you spend versus your overall sales. The reason being, you could spend money on one high volume search term that brings in the majority of your sales. And if that one gives you the organic rank really high, it doesn't matter about your ACOS. The whole system is around your tacos. How much you spend on advertising versus your total sales. You want to be getting your profits from organic sales. You use PPC to help your ranking, and then you make your profits on the organic sales. So a couple of things. AMZScout, we just went through that before. Definitely use that in terms of search volume, keyword effectiveness. Really, really helpful. But also use your brand analytics. There's something called top search terms, and wash those together. They're two great tools. I'll use AMZScout because if you don't have a trademark, you can't get this, but AMZScout actually shows the effectiveness. Effectiveness means green, great keyword to rank for, orange a bit harder, red, not as relevant. You also got to make sure that with PPC that the top ranking terms aligns with your buyer intent. You know, at the start, we always talked about your buyer intent. It's all about conversion. So what's your customer looking for? What's that search term? Generally, longer tail, hyper relevant, converts super high. Then the more broader you go, the higher the volume, the less the conversion. But one thing I really recommend as well, put this in your actions, is that you need single keyword campaigns. Generally, product ads make up the majority of your sales. And the reason being, it just looks like an image on the listing. People don't know it's an ad because Amazon hides it quite well now, that it's only a sponsored link, it's very small. The reason you want single keywords in campaign is it allows you to control many things. You bid up or down the top of search where it appears on the page for that specific keyword. Because you may find that some keywords appears better at top of search, other ones appear rest of page. So what we find is that on general for each ASIN, 5 to 6 keywords make up the majority of your sales. So for those ones, you need single keyword campaigns that you're reviewing for whether you want to appear at the top of the page, the rest of the page, or somewhere else. So one thing I definitely take away is a single keyword. You don't want to, the biggest mistake I see in PPC, people mix up, they have multiple keywords in an ad group. You can do that if it's very low volume. High volume, definitely not. Or they add different match types to the same campaign. So they'll have a broad and a phrase in the same campaign. It's worth the time to separate these out. Out of this message, if you're writing down all those actions, the one thing you want to take away out of the PPC, single keyword campaign, high conversion keywords. Okay, so some of the best practice here, you probably don't see this because this is getting the advanced information on advertising. But actually just put a yes or a no in the chat. Put a yes if you guys understand what the tacos is. I just want to make sure people understand it because it's not a phrase that people, everyone knows about. And because it's not within Campaign Manager, people don't always use it. But just put a yes if you're clear on tacos, and no if you're not. And I'll spend a bit more time on it just before I go through these best practices. So what I want to be able to do is set you guys up for success on Amazon. I want to make sure you understand the principles of strategies, but also how you implement them as well. Great. Okay, so that's great. Tacos, how much you're spending on advertising versus your total sales. That's tacos. ACOS is how much you're spending on PPC sales versus PPC spend versus PPC sales. So tacos, not ACOS, tacos. Best practice, under 10%. Great. So if you're establishing a brand name, if you're in the launch phase, your tacos may be 30 to 40%. If you're an established brand, maybe up to 15%. And if you're a household brand name, if you're like an Apple, something like that, it's probably like 5% or less. But these are high-level benchmarks. So when you have your quarterly planning, what's our tacos? And that's why it's okay for ACOS to be high for certain keywords. If you've got a super, super high volume keyword, that means you're ranking on page one because you're getting PPC sales, it helps you boost. It doesn't bother me that has a high ACOS. I want a fantastic tacos. Okay, so guys, just some tips on launching and gaining momentum on Amazon. I really want to show Foundation 5 so you guys have a really clear picture about the ecosystem of Amazon and the difference between launching and the momentum stages. So when you're launching, so you start, we talk about if you're a new seller, established seller. So if you're a new seller on Amazon, launching, and even if you're an established seller, you have to be rolling out ASINs. You need to bring out new products because that's how you can keep growing your account. There's two stages in Amazon. Once you get to a top seller, like top 1 or 2 sellers in that marketplace, you're not likely going to get more sellers. You need to bring out the new product. So that's why you need to know how to launch. So launching is all about credibility and focus. So you need an alignment of your keywords and your listing. So when you're launching product reviews, make sure you're above 4.5. That's why I spent so much time on there. Make sure people are clicking on listing. That's why I spent so much time on the world class. And then the buyer intent. So the keywords that you're going to go for. So use AMZScout's keyword effectiveness. That and the listing lines up. So that's what launching is all about. Then there's the 4 stages, and you got to know what stage you're in. So when you're selling on Amazon, there's 4 stages. You're launching, so that's when the product's new to Amazon. Your whole goal is around product reviews. You're growing, so that means you've got reviews every week. Your sales are slowly progressing, and the focus is on keywords. So what keywords you focus on and your conversion. Then the 3rd stage is market leader. So once you get to the market leader, you're the top 1 or 2 sellers in the category. So when we went back before and looked at this tool here with and it showed the revenue. I think back here it showed that what is $100,000 a month. Where is it? Let me just scroll across here. So like 100,000, 70,000, 50,000. Once you're on those top 2 sellers. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see my screen. I was just showing the tool then. Once you're on the top 2 sellers, that's when you know you're a market leader. So once you're a market leader, it's all about how your competitors are ranking for keywords. So you sort of you're still focusing on your own business, but you keep an eye on your competitors. Are they increasing on this keyword? If they are, what's my rank? So it all comes around to that. I call it a gap analysis. So once you get to the market leader, at the start, you're just trying to get reviews you're launching. Growing, you're finding out what keywords you want to rank high on. Once you're at the top of the leaderboard, then you're keeping a really strong eye on your competition. Every month, what keywords are they ranking from? And am I ranking just as highly? Also calendar planning, like you actually have to start planning out. Once you're doing $100,000 a month just for one product, you're getting good sales. You actually need to plan out, okay, what are the calendar months? What seasonal things are there? We've got Prime Day coming up. Is it a seasonal product with summer or Christmas? How do we start planning that? Then also, what's the PPC keyword expansion? Once you're at market leader, you want to be using all the PPC tools, all the campaign types, all the strategies, brand awareness. Launching really narrow set of PPC strategies is about keyword, growing or expanding. But you also got to remember there's also declining as well. Amazon, you do go through different phases. We talked about it being like Everest. You go up the top, come back down slightly. Some people, what they find is they get a top selling product. They do really well. They don't look at their listing for 6 months. They don't change it. Then someone comes in like you. They got the right tools. They got a world-class listing. They use AMZScout with all the listing capabilities, and they slowly chip away market share. And before they know it, their product that was doing $100,000 a month, maybe now doing $70,000. And they think, oh, maybe it's something, maybe it's seasonal. And before they knew it's doing $50,000, they lost 50% of the market share. And this happens unless you're staying on top of it. And once this happens, you got to work it out. Okay, is it the quality of the product? Has there been something wrong in my production run? This actually happened to me once. Years ago, I changed supplier for a product because I was going to save about 20%. I didn't do good checking QA on the product quality. Launched on Amazon, a whole bunch of issues, lost a whole bunch of market share because my negative reviews came in, or because I was trying to save some money and didn't do the proper QA. So is it a quality issue? Is it your reviews? Is it your price? Has the market changed? Or is it the competition? Often, I find if you're declining market share, you've either got something with the supply chain, which is less rare. Generally, it's a competition. Someone's come in who's hungry, who wants a way to grow their business. They're learning, they're understanding, they're using these strategies, and they've actually started to take away your market share. They spent time looking at their listing. They spent time looking at your listing. Theirs is now world-class. They know their buyer intent. They're taking away your market share. That's why you need to have a process in place to go through this work.